This video is all about the leak specs for the Fujifilm X-H2. That's right, we have the full leak specs of the Fujifilm X-H2. Details coming up, but first, I encourage you to subscribe and choose all notifications so you're kept informed on the latest camera gear, news, and rumors. Thanks to digicams-inco, we have full leak specs for the Fujifilm X-H2. For those upset with Canon, this might be something for you to consider. No surprises that the Fujifilm X-H2 has an APS-C sensor. It's 40.2 megapixels, and it can shoot up to 20 frames per second electronic, although it can shoot 15 frames per second mechanical. And in terms of storage, well, it has one UHS-2 SD card slot and a CF Express Type B card slot. So really good for storage. I just love those CF Express Type B card slots. They're just absolutely fast. The X-H2 has an ISO range of between 125 and 12,800. However, when it comes to video, it is expandable to 25,600, and for stills, it's expandable up to 51,200. The shutter is capable of going to 1/8,000th of a second, and it does have shutter sync 1/250th of a second for mechanical and 1/125th of a second for electronic. And now for the video specifications. This camera is capable of shooting up to 8K, 24, 25, and 30 frames per second, and that's UHD. It also does 6.2K and 4K. Well, it does all the basic frame rates, 4K, 24, 25, 30, as well as 50 and 60 frames per second, and that's in UHD as well as DCI. So it goes up to DCI in 4K at 60 frames per second. But in Full HD or 1080, we see some really wonderful specs. While it can do all the basic frame rates and go up to 50 and 60 frames per second, slow motion can go up to a staggering 240 frames per second, which is quite impressive. The X-H2 has 19 film simulation modes. It has a variable angled LCD that's 3 inches and with a resolution of about 1.62 million dots. EVF has a pretty impressive resolution, 5.76 million dots. And that new battery, the NPW235, has a capacity of shooting about 580 frames, although it can go up to about 720 in eco mode. And of course, these are SEPA-based numbers, so actual performance will most likely be a little bit better than that. It weighs 660 grams, and it comes with a 5-axis IBIS system with up to 7 stops, so it's pretty impressive. Now, in terms of price, we don't have the pricing leaked yet, surprising, but we do know, of course, no secret here, that it's going to be announced at the Fujifilm X Summit. So pretty impressive, pretty cool camera, APS-C censored camera that's capable of 8K video. This is a first, isn't it? And an APS-C censored camera capable of 8K video, 24, 25, and 30 frames per second UHD. We do get DCI modes, but we have to drop down to 4K, but still a pretty impressive camera. Now, the specs don't mention if we get DCI in 6.2K. It doesn't mention the oversampled modes. So while this is a full set of leaked specifications, we don't have the full details behind them, where all the questions are right now. I'd really like to know, what are the oversampled rates? So for example, 4K, does it have 8K oversample 4K? I'd really like to know that, and I'd be surprised if it didn't. I couldn't imagine Fuji not giving us 8K oversample 4K, which would produce an truly incredible detailed video performance. I'm really excited by this camera. And the stills rates, well, there's no slouch there either. 15 and 20 frames per second, 15 frames per second mechanical, 20 frames per second electronic. So does the Fujifilm X-H2 have your interest? Is this a camera that you're looking at purchasing? What if it comes in at around $2,000 or $2,500? What if it's more? What if it's less? Is this a camera that you're, well, very interested in getting? Stay tuned. I'm going to be following up on this, looking for the price, getting that confirmed. We did have some leaks a little while ago, but they were kind of all over the place, somewhere between $2,000 and $2,500. I'm really not too sure what this one is. And of course, when it came to the sensor, there was no mention whether it was BSI or stacked. So I don't know if that's the case or not, but some of the rumors pointed to that this camera might not have a BSI or stacked sensor. If you want to stay up to date on the latest camera news and rumors, go ahead and subscribe, but make sure you choose all notifications. That's the key. By choosing all notifications, as soon as I publish a new video like this one here, or I publish a video on the price or some other video, you'll be the first to know, because YouTube will notify you, so that way you can stay up to date on the latest camera news and rumors. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.